Hello guys and welcome. Today we continue our goal setting skill training and we are almost done. We are almost at the end. I remind you that previously we analyzed where you are right now to understand your current state. We also analyzed if your basics are covered so that you can move towards your goal. We also analyzed what desired state you will be in when you achieve that goal and what exactly do you want. So today we're gonna talk more about how to set up goal and why is goal different from just some wish. Goal is different from a wish because it's concrete, it is achievable, and it's very like measurable, accountable, and all that. This is pretty much universal in all businesses. As in psychotherapy, we try to set concrete, measurable goals because then we can see when we achieve them, we can measure it, we can understand it. Um, in the previous video, we talked about desired state, like for example, that you want to think those thoughts, you want to feel those feelings, you want to um, act a certain way, and you described it all in the previous exercise. And this is a good goal description, like you describe how you want to feel, what you want to think, and how you want to act. This is already a bit like goal state description. However, I remind you that mistakes in setting a goal is when you make a goal about others or about some exterior forces that you cannot control. Like, for example, setting a goal that this particular person will marry you. You cannot control their actions, you cannot make them marry you, so this is not a very nice goal. So don't make these mistakes, but I won't repeat myself any further. You please just check those previous videos. And today we're going to talk about the goal, and we're going to also talk about scale for the goal and how to achieve it. Well, first of all, you can use any kind of basically model to set a goal, even this SMART model that is used in normal like management and all that. That the goal, first of all, needs to be specific. So with real numbers, with concrete details, concrete dates. Of course, in psychotherapy, it's not always possible, but we should do it when we can. Like, for example, that I have mm, what? Like, I have X amount of new friends, or I earn X amount of money, or I do this and this and that by this date. So it needs to be concrete, and please make sure that your goal is achievable. That we are not doing here some esoteric stuff that you should visualize some billions of dollars falling onto you, and they will. I'm doing psychology, not this esoteric stuff. So please choose the goal that is concrete, achievable, and specific. Next one, it should be measurable. Um, it should be trackable. For example, if your goal is to heal your depression and improve your moods, then the measure of it can be that you track your moods in a special application on your phone, and then you shouldn't have sad moods more often than twice per week, let's say. So this is your goal. Feeling certain feelings can also be our goal. Changing certain behaviors and doing some new behaviors can also be our goal. Thinking new things can be our goal. Gaining some skills and competence in I don't know, communication or self-expression or saying no can also be our goals. So bear in mind. Um, so S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable. So this goal is can be a bit challenging for you because if the goal is too easy, it's kind of boring. But if the goal is exciting, it's good. But also, it should be achievable. Like a goal for you to become twice higher is not achievable. Okay, so don't set yourself this goal. Also, a goal that does not depend on your own actions but involves other people is not achievable. a goal that cannot be achieved just by action is also not achievable. Like, for example, if you see some pretty body online, you cannot set a goal that I want to look exactly like that, because it's not, it doesn't depend just on your actions. It also depends on your genetics, on your skeleton, and just how your bones are situated. You can never look like somebody else completely. So your goals need to be achievable. And next one, are realistic. So be honest with yourself and try to be realistic and base your expectation on your previous experience. Bear in mind that if you have any kind of, like, pessimistic interpretation of things in life, it's likely that you will be too pessimistic and underestimate your capacities. But if you don't have those, like you don't have depression or anxiety or something like that, and you are like average person, let's say, in terms of mental health, it's likely that you are too optimistic. It's common that we overestimate our capacities. Like, you think that, oh, achieving this goal will take me a month, but in reality it takes you several months this way. And then time bound. So time bound, you need to have a deadline. You need to know by which date you should achieve this goal. And again, it can be realistic. If you have doubts how much time, what gonna take, you can have a consultation with me or any other, like, psychotherapy, psychologist. You can also use my playlists on my channel as your, how to say, orientation, like markers. For example, if you decide to work on your core beliefs in order to heal a depression, you can use my cognitive skill, basic cognitive skills playlist and intermediate cognitive skills playlist. And you will also need your behavioral change training. Also, I have a playlist like that. So each of my playlists is about 8 videos, 8, 9, 7, like this. And each video is supposed to be done once per week, and then you exercise and do home task for a week, and then you do the second one. So if you need, in order to achieve your goal, pass through 3 of my trainings, it's gonna be 21 weeks or 24 weeks. So you can time bound yourself like that. And there are different other ways. You can also check statistics, how much time statistically it takes you, but your goal needs to be time bound. Also important that your goal needs to be formulated in positive terms. I don't mean that your goal needs to be all like rainbow and sun. I mean that it should be formulated in words of presence and not in words of absence. Words of absence is that I want to not feel pain. This is absence of pain. It cannot be like a real goal. Instead, the goal should be like what you want instead of pain. Like, I want to feel joy, I want to feel calm, I want to feel relaxed, and so on and so on and so on. But even when we're talking about emotional goals, they also need to be measurable in some way or another. So this is the basic principle. So please feel free to pause this video and take your time to think about how to put your goal in this smart, what do you call it, smart, sorry, not always remembering the right word, but you understood what I get, what I mean. And after you finish, please return to me and we will do second exercise for today. Okay, if you return to your back, now we can do interesting exercise called scale. It comes from solution focused brief therapy or brief treatment, and it's very useful. Check it out how it goes. You're gonna make a scale from 0 to 10, 0 here, 10 here, and imagine that your goal when you achieved it is a 10. And it's really important to understand 10 clearly, like what exactly it is, how exactly it looks, and so on. Like, 10 is this smart description. Like, for example, your goal is having healthy, like improving your mental health, okay? And here you can describe like how often you feel that, how often you feel this, or if you, or how often you do certain things, or if your goal is to find new friends, you can also describe like by which date, how many friends, and so on. And then you need to understand what is your zero. And zero is when you don't have anything at all to achieve your goal, like nothing at all to achieve it. And many of us, we underestimate how much we already have. Like, for example, if you're watching this video, oh, sorry, if you're watching this video and if you can understand what I'm saying, it's already like a privilege that you have access to it. It's already not a zero, it's already maybe a one. Да что ж такое? It's already maybe a one, okay? Or if you know how to read and write, it's also a privilege. Not everybody can do it. If you have like functioning body, more or less healthy body, it's also a point. So, for example, your goal is to um, find a job, okay? And if you know how to read and write and you have some basic education, it's already a small step towards your goal. So basically, you need to estimate how much resources, how much knowledge, how much skills, how many skills you already have, and give it a mark. Like, for example, let's say my goal is to film videos for you, okay? I already have my education as a psychologist. I already have my knowledge. I already know English. I already know how to read and write, and I have my technology to record it. So I would give myself a 7, let's say. That now it's 7, okay? Now 7. But so instead of thinking about what you don't have to achieve your goal, let's first focus on what you do have to achieve it. And please make a list of it. So you write down all the things that you already have at your disposal to achieve your goal. And here you can use like anything that you have. It can be your skills like reading, writing, planning, management. You can also write down your connections, like I have this friend and this friend and this friend. You can also write down your time resource, like I have this amount of time available so I can use it. You can write down that you have health, or you have a place where to live, or basically anything that is already there. And why it's also important is because our brain is kind of predisposed to focus on what we don't have and on the negative, and we often miss all the positive, wonderful things that we already have in our life. And while doing this list of what you already have, you can kind of remember which resources you can use. And here you can also note down your personal qualities, like, for example, oh, I'm very good with foreign languages, or I'm very good at math, or I'm good at communication skills, and all that. So we write down all the positive resources, strong qualities, available materials, connections, energy, anything that you have to achieve that goal already. This exercise is so important, so important, because we need to understand what we have. We can then use it better. It's much easier to achieve our goal if we use what we already have instead of trying to invent new ways. It's also much easier to feel like motivated to achieve our goal when we feel that we are already on a 7 instead of like being on a total 0. Of course, you might not be a 7, you might be a 5, a 3, a 4, or something else. So number 1, make a scale, make a list of things that you already have in order to achieve that goal. And then, now pause the video, please do that, and then we'll continue. Number 2, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna understand what is here. So now let's say, что ж такое? Now let's say I'm a 7 and I want to be at 10. 10 is, for example, making 5 playlists of videos that I want. And now I'm on 7. So here we have 8, 9, 10. 3 steps left. So what should I do for it to be an 8? Or what should I do for it to be a 9? Your task is to find small steps like this and describe what will be different when it is an 8 and what it will be different when it is a 9. And then also describe steps in between, like what will be different when it's 8.5, what will be different when it's 9.5, what is it different when it's 7.5. And this way you kind of plan your steps to achieve that goal and little by little get there. So this is also very important. Here from goal setting we move into planning and planning our steps how to achieve it. Also, you don't have to follow this plan like step by step precisely, because everyone is different, our brains work in a different way, so you can adapt this plan to what suits you the most. But the principle is such that first of all you understand what is a 10 and what is a 0, then you mark where you are currently and mark all the resources, all the information, all the knowledge, all the privilege, all the finances, all the free time, all the connections, all the skills that you already have to achieve that goal, and you give it a mark, and then you decide what every step what would be different at every point added, like what would be different when it's a 10, what would be different when it's a 9, what would be different when it's an 8, what would be different when it's a 7, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And then you can plan. And very important that you plan for small concrete steps. You know this common almost like stereotyped advice that you cannot eat an elephant in one piece, you need to separate the elephant in pieces. I don't like it because I pity elephants and they are very cute and wonderful. Don't eat any elephants. So let's say it this way: you cannot make a revolution in one step. You need several steps. You need to occupy several important territories and do several important actions in order to lead a revolution. um, so yes, same. You need to separate your goal, describe your goal in concrete terms, and then describe each concrete step, and maybe also give each concrete step a formulation in this SMART form, like, all the same that we did with the main goal, but you do this at every number, for example, if you want to. And your every next step should be small and measurable and attainable, and not be too scary, but also not be too boring. You can also think about rewards for your every step, but this is also material for a next video. So your home task now is first of all to formulate your goal using SMART formula, and then secondly draw this scale as we discussed, or not scale, how is it called in English, I'm not sure. Write in the comments please. So to draw this scale and formulate what each number represents, and then decide on your first small step that you're going to take to achieve that goal. So this will be your home task, to take this tiny small step. And I ask you right now, what is the you can pause the video and decide which step you're gonna take first, and then return. So please pause and then return. Okay. Now that you hopefully wrote it down and paused, ask yourself, what is the probability that I'm going to actually do this small step? Until, let's say, next video and next week. If you say, let's say 70, it's very low probability. You need to improve it, and to improve it you can either increase your motivation, or introduce some rewards, or introduce some sanctions, or make the task easier and smaller, so separate this piece into even smaller pieces. Ideally, your probability to actually do this small action should be like 95% minimum, so almost certain. Unless you have it 95%, then it means that the action is either too big or too complicated, or you don't have enough motivation, you need to increase it, or maybe some kind of beliefs or assumptions or thoughts are stopping you, and for this you can work using my cognitive skills training playlist. Yes, and this will be your home task, to actually do this action, and then you can continue setting actions like this for yourself in order to achieve that goal, and step by step you will get there. I will be very happy for you. So when you do, please write down your comments. When you achieve your goal, please let me know. I will be very happy to know. And also, if you have any questions, please share them, and remember to share this video with your friends on your social networks and your social media, because this is the best thank you I could ever get from you. Because and also many people will find my videos this way and become maybe happier in their life, and get this free useful content. And I wish you best of luck. Remember to kind of use small steps to support yourself, and you can achieve your goals. Let me know when you do. Bye bye. And by the way, this was the last video in our goal setting skill. So now you've mastered it, and feel free to go to my other trainings. I have cognitive skills training, emotional skills training, behavioral change skills training, and so on and so on and so on. Many useful videos. So please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and all that. And it's not just a saying, please share, please share. I want more people to find my videos and to use them. Bye bye.